How's it going, guys? We are back with another Blade HQ video, and today we're going to be talking about one of the highest demanded knives in the industry right now, pocket fixed blades.
Let's talk knives.
All right, George, you're here to help me answer a very important question today, and that is why pocket fixed blades, and why are women's pockets so tiny?
So I'm more than happy to help you with the first question. Now the second question, who could know? If you want to become a gajillionaire, just start a designer label of women's pants with appropriately sized pockets.
I'm already on that, so don't give anyone ideas.
Yeah, just kidding, don't. She's doing it. Sarah Brand.
Exactly.
So my understanding is we're not just going to run through all the knives on the table and say, look at this knife. It's this long of a blade. We're going to sort of talk theory.
Yeah.
What makes a great pocket fixed blade. And I'm really excited because I love pocket fixed blades.
I know, and it's definitely something I'm growing into here, and I've been trying to kind of find the right one. So I say we just start with talking about the sizing, because we have so many on the table that are tiny, bigger, larger, and maybe we can compare them to a full size. So why don't we start with you? You've got the not out of box ready for pocket section.
Yeah, so I guess, as she's kind of saying, there's a line here. On that side, everything, you can buy this knife at bladehq.com and it will come out of the box ready to throw in your pocket as is.
Yes.
This stuff might take a little bit of modification, but we'll get more into that later. But generally speaking, like you were saying, pockets, especially in the case of women, are small.
It's sad.
But like the CRKT Minimalist is like a neck knife, but how hard would it be to just tuck this whole operation in your pocket, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be nice and small, and smaller equals more pocketable, and to some extent the same thing applies to folders.
Yeah.
It's going to be easier to carry a Benchmade mini bug out every day than it is to be carrying a Cold Steel Espada XL.
Yeah, exactly.
Both folders, but very different pocketability experiences.
Yeah, and I think, as we were talking about earlier off screen, you can compare a lot of larger folding knives, the size of them folded up in your pocket, to like one like the Minimalist. Like we can compare, I have a Heretic here, and that's going to be almost the same size folded up as one of these guys in their sheath.
Yeah.
So not much of a difference.
There's a lot of benefits that come from having a fixed blade as well that a folder just won't give you, even though footprint in the pocket is something that the folder takes in spades.
Yeah, and we'll definitely touch on that at the end as well. But going back to size, I think it's one to note that you might see like the Kershaw Steppe is huge compared to the Minimalist. Where'd it go?
It's right there.
Like, you know, almost half the size, but yet they're still meant to be pocketable. So obviously men are gonna have the advantage with larger pockets. Maybe if you're a female and you wear cargo pants, I think Melissa Backwoods, I know she's always got it figured out. Yeah. She's throwing her, larger fixed blades, tactical knives right in her front pocket. So there are options for everybody. I don't want people to think immediately, oh, pocket fixed blades are so tiny and small, I'm gonna avoid them. But no, there's plenty of options where they are more, not overbuilt, but built out and bigger and probably able to use for more durable tasks.
Yep, and I think that's another big misconception is people are like, fixed blade equals big and unwieldy, whereas whatever size of knife you're comfortable carrying or whatever, you can find it in a fixed blade. One thing I really do appreciate about fixed blades in particular is you can, like when you have a folder, there's blade styles that must fit into the certain thing. Like how the handle fits is how the blade must fit into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that you have limits on how long the blade can be, how much of a recurve it can have. Like that's why you don't see too many folding karambits out there. But with a fixed blade, you can have anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And like this guy, you have a nice little sheep's foot blade. And what that would usually do is make for a bit of a chunky folder because it's so wide and you have to fold it all into a handle. Think the CRKT Polar, which is very similar to this. I think similar designers. This one's got a Jens Onso Jesper Voxnes collab, and same thing. But that one's kind of a wide folder, but this is not a very difficult to pocket fixed blade. And the same applies to maybe a Tanto, because with a Tanto, you got this secondary point that kind of juts out, so you end up with a blade that'll often kind of stick out a little bit more when folded.
Yeah, exactly.
But here, just a fixed blade. It's nice. You can have anything you want.
Yeah, a lot of designers and manufacturers don't have to think too hard about a pocket fixed blade in terms of you're not, like you said, you're not trying to make a perfect design that folds up into itself. So I think that's why there are so many options, is you can just run with it. Like any blade style, you got the sheep's foot, the other two you were talking about. Like the possibilities are endless, and I think that it shows great versatility in this, model line that you can really pick whatever you want and it'll work out for you.
Yeah, and my favorite thing though is how that can extend to, you can have a blade that's longer than your handle.
Yes.
So if you, you're just objectively getting more cutting power out of that. Like if you're slicing up vegetables or whatever, something this is just gonna be so nice to use every single day.
Yeah, love that harpoon blade. That's beautiful. All right, well, I think size, does matter when it comes to pocket fixed blades, I should say.
Yeah, because if it's so big that you're not going to carry it, then it's useless.
Yeah, exactly.
A knife in the drawer is worth nothing.
Yeah, and we can compare. I pulled out a SE3 just to compare to some of these. I mean, so this is the SE3. It's, I'd say, the most average full-size fixed blade on the market.
Yeah, one of the most popular companion-style knives you can get.
Yeah, and I mean, this sheath is massive. So it's obviously not fully intentional for pocket carry. Maybe you're getting different adjustments to be scout carry or to strap to your backpack. But like for you were telling me earlier, you would throw this in your pocket with the attachment.
Yeah,
so
I might throw a different clip on there. That rides a little high for me.
Yeah.
But seriously, like for you fellows out there, which I've seen the YouTube analytics, as most of you, you will underestimate how much pocket space you have. Like these are just Kirkland signature jeans I got at Costco in Orem, Utah. And guess what? This whole knife vanishes in my pocket.
Yeah, that cannot happen with me.
Yeah, so Taylor Martin did a thing where he had a Schwartz knife with a 5-inch blade, like a giant survival knife, pocket carry, easy.
Yeah.
And so if you're lucky enough to have the good pants, then you can carry a pretty dang big knife. And that's why I brought this one. This is one of my favorite knives that's kind of slept on, is the Viper Knives Basic.
We'll compare those. They're pretty much the exact same size.
Yeah, pretty much the exact same size, but the Basic is sort of the larger version of the Barris, which you have over there.
The little one over here.
And this one actually comes out of the box ready for pocket carry, but it's just a little fixed blade. Tommaso Rumici designed. But this one's big. You just throw an ulti clip on this sheath, and that is ready to throw in your pocket, and you've got a great user right there. Magna Cut blade steel. What's not to like, right?
Exactly. Speaking of blade steels, maybe we can run through some of the more popular ones that we're seeing here on the table.
Yeah, I think one of the big things people want out of a fixed blade is the added strength. You don't have a lock. It's not pre-broken in the middle, as they say.
Yeah, yeah.
And because of that, you see a lot of tougher steels or the balanced steels. Occasionally, you'll see something like an M390 or something like an S90V, something that's a bit more geared towards edge retention and isn't necessarily super tough.
Right.
But you'll see a lot of Magna Cut, a lot of 3V, a lot of N690, Nitro V, 14C28N. These steels that are designed to take a little bit of a beating.
Exactly, and I think you want reliability. When you're obviously there's such a stereotype, if you will, with fixed blades that they're supposed to be super hard using, super reliable, something that I'm going to be able to beat up. So when you're taking a super tiny fixed blade, you want to know that it's going to have the blade steel and whatever else is involved with the hard use, that it's going to actually give you the confidence to put it through those tasks. Because if you're just going to pull out a folder and do the same thing, you probably won't get the same results, obviously, for other reasons. But I think blade steel is also very important. And so I think that's something that designers definitely look out for.
Yeah, and another thing that we kind of don't talk too much about is geometry of the blade. Oftentimes with a folder, they tend to go really thin for slicing power.
Yeah.
With fixed blades, they're not afraid to thicken it up a little bit, give you something a little more meaty. Like the Buck Alpha Scout here is one of my favorite pocket fixed blades.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
And it's a pretty tall, flat grind, and you can see how thick the edge is here. And that's because this is a bit of a stouter knife because of how thick the blade is. It wants to be used hard, even though it's small.
Yeah.
Which I love that we can have that. We can have something that you beat the tar out of, but is so tiny and so pocketable. Yeah.
But yeah, I think also to that is not even blade thickness, but also handle thickness. Like, you have the TPF Defense here. It's going to be a pretty thick handle with a thick blade stock going all the way through, because you could take off the scales and have it skeletonized in which way you'd want it. But on a folder, like, some handles are going to be thicker, but you're getting the same ergonomics of a standard fixed blade with the beefier, thicker handles, so that it's going to fit in your hand and you can still get that confident grip on it, which I think is important. Yeah,
and while we're talking about ergonomics, that, in my opinion, is one of the biggest reasons to carry a fixed blade. So do you have your folder still? I'm sorry, I was carrying a pocket fixed blade preparing for this video. So if you look at this, every single folder these days comes with a pocket clip. And when you grab that, that pocket clip is in your hand. And people will go to great lengths to keep that pocket clip from causing you hot spots.
Yeah.
Like Cold Steel, for example, their pocket clips, instead of bending up, they bend up and then flatten out again. And that's so you don't get a hot spot in your hand. But sometimes it can be hard to dig it over like a thick seam on jeans or something.
Oh, yeah.
But what that is, like, it's a trade-off. You're going to have a pocket clip in your hand, and some people don't like that.
Yeah.
But with a fixed blade, that pocket clip stays in your pocket. And then you pick your knife up, and all you have is beautiful, luscious handle under your hand. And it is so much nicer to use.
It's a lot more comfortable. Yeah, you're exactly right. And I think also ergonomics, talking about handles, is materials. Like fixed blades typically have materials that are good in water, ones that can be cleaned easily, ones that can resist weather and those kind of elements. And so I think that's an important thing to touch on as well, is we see all different kinds. And there are even materials that they put on fixed blades, pocket fixed blades, that we don't have on the table. But we're seeing G10, we're seeing micarta, we're seeing like almost a rubber grip, we're seeing just skeletonized. You know, there's every different option for pocket fixed blades.
Yes, and so one reason you don't see micarta so a whole lot on folders, especially folders that only have micarta and minus liners, is because micarta has a tendency to warp.
Yeah.
And if it warps too much, sometimes it can like make your lock stop working. And I know that Spyderco ran into that a little while ago, and because they are determined to give you good stuff, they did a full recall on a Shaman not too long ago, and they fixed it. It works great now.
Yeah.
And that's why the Crew Carta knives all have full liners instead of nested. But with fixed blades, you don't have that issue. There's no mechanism to cause any trouble to, and you can just bolt the whole thing to a steel bar that'll reinforce it. Because of that, you can get a big, luscious micarta handle.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes for things like rubber, like you were saying. Rubber.
Yeah, the Steppe, check
like,
that one out.
You're not going to do a rubber handle on a folder. Like,
no.
It just isn't going to work super well for you. Maybe you can rubberize the outside. But you can do a nice rubbery plastic handle on a fixed blade and get all the benefits.
Yeah, exactly.
And the last one I want to mention is Ultim, which we have here on this guy.
Yes, we do have one.
Yeah, so Ultim needs a little bit of care. So it is great under tension, but it's not super great under compression. And that's why sometimes when people are like taking apart a knife that has an Ultim handle, they'll crack it as they over tighten a screw.
Yeah.
But you don't have to worry about that, because when was the last time you disassembled a fixed blade? Why would you do it? Like,
right, exactly.
What underneath this scale do you need access to? And because of that, an Ultim handle is a really great thing here. You're still going to get all of the same color, all the same light weight, and resistance to heat and everything, but it takes no maintenance on your end, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, I agree. And I think to the Ultim, this one's probably a little more stylized than a lot of the ones on the table. So you can still carry these as an EDC carry. You know, we don't have to only be thinking about outdoor use or hard use with these. Like, the Maverick is probably one of the more EDC ones that I think of, and that's why I wanted to include it. I love the way it looks. I think of like the GMF1, that also is very EDC oriented. So, you know, there's different options.
And there's one knife that we are out of stock of, unfortunately. This is one I dream of having one day, is the Big Idea Design Lookout.
Oh, I love that one.
Flash up a knockout out here. But that comes with a titanium handle. Yeah. And titanium can be anodized any color you want.
Exactly.
But there's a spectrum of colors you can go. You can do cool lightning strikes. Like, it's just as modular and customizable as anything you ever wanted out of a folder, but it's a fixed blade.
Yeah, George, to that point, I think there is that customization with it. A lot of these, you can take the handles off and run them skeletonized. You can put the paracord around it. I know you like to do that.
Yes, love me some lanyards.
Exactly. But some of them, like the Dacian, you're going to have ones where the handle is bolted to the tang. So you're not going to be able to do that, but I think they still give you the fun of swapping out the sheaths. You can get the custom ones. I know a lot of brands do custom leather sheaths. You can get custom kydex, this and that. So I think it's an endless world of customization, just like you'd see with folders, like you were saying.
Yeah, and also it's pretty easy to get into yourself. I know, like, if you're gonna make scales for a folder, it can be kind of daunting, especially if you have nested liners, because you have to like mill it out, and if you have a CNC machine or whatever, like that's something you can do. But the leather work it takes to make a pocket fixed blade sheath is not super hard. Like, this is a sheath that came off of my Knives by Nuge Wicket. Yeah. Love this thing. This is from Badger Claw Leather. You can actually just buy these straight up from them.
Yeah, those are great.
But how hard would it be to emulate something like this? All you need is some grommets, some leather, and a little setter. And you can get all that at Hobby Lobby for less than $50, and you can probably make dozens of sheaths doing it. You probably have to replenish your leather supply after a while, but it's not terribly difficult of a thing to do. You can look up, there's a million tutorials on YouTube, and you can make something awesome. Dye it whatever color you want, make it fit perfectly to your knife, wet mold it, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's one of the pluses, especially something that I love about knives, is that it is so personally yours. Like, I see all the time, you're like, oh look, I put this new lanyard on it, or, you know, Lions upstairs is like, oh yeah, I dyed this G10 handle, and everyone's doing, exactly, everyone's doing their own customization to make their knife yours. I think of Mercedes and her pirate knives, she's engraving skulls and like quotes and stuff.
And gluing,
so,
what was it, a zirconium anchor on her, oh man,
on her Kraken. So exactly, there's endless possibilities, and I think that helps bring the interest in what is also showing such a high demand for these knives. But going along with sheaths, I think we should go through certain kinds, maybe show their carrying styles, how they come out of box versus not, and then how we can kind of adapt to that.
Yeah, so the world of pocket fixed blades is growing, but it is still fairly small. But there are some that come out, and your entire side over there. So the MKM pocket sheaths, like we'll grab this Pocket Tango right here. They have a little magnet here, and what that does is it claps around your pocket. And I will tell you, these sheaths do take a good amount of break-in before they're nice. Once they're nice, they're nice. But what you do is you just put your thumb here and push off and pull it out. This one isn't super well broken in. It's brand new, but yeah, it's a nice way to do it, and a lot of people really like this way to carry a pocket fixed blade. Yeah,
these are great. And I think also one thing I was noticing just pulling them in and out earlier was that your knife, the steel on your blade will actually magnetize to the little magnet here. So it does give you more of that secure feeling, because immediately I feel as soon as you put it back in, the magnet clips to the metal and it's going to stay in there.
It's silent.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Easy to carry, secure.
So yeah, we have obviously 4 or 5 of these on the table from MKM. They're all going to feature.
People love that sheath. My goodness.
Same ones. I mean, hey, it's nice premium leather. I don't know how you couldn't.
It's Italian leather.
Exactly.
If you're into flexing where your leather came from.
And then this one's really cool. The Kershaw Steppe features actually an ambidextrous sheath. So like the Dacian, you can put the knife in any which way.
So if you're a lefty or you want to carry weak side or whatever.
Exactly. So you're going to get ease of deployment for this in any way that you hold it. And it is Kydex, or no, sorry. This is just like a plastic.
Injection molded polymer of some variety. It kind of snaps like Kydex though. They kind of all.
Oh yeah, it's very smooth. And I do like how on the Steppe they have this little circular ridge in the middle, which is actually where the sheath locks onto the knife. So very sturdy as well.
Yeah, can we talk clips for a second?
Yes.
So this one does come out with a clip, and this one's more akin to the pocket clips you know and love, where it wants to slide in and out of the pocket. Where there are some, like on the Dacian right there, Dacian, I don't even know, that has a prong in the middle that really bites your pocket.
Yeah.
I prefer prong because I like to just be able to grab the knife and pull it out.
Exactly.
But some people like the ability to push it off with their thumb.
With their thumb.
Yes, but that is something to keep in mind, and we'll talk more about that when we talk about how to adapt.
Yeah, exactly.
Hand these back to you.
Another thing I think with Kydex is pancake versus taco.
Yes.
That's important as well. Like on this guy, this is the Civivi
Various.
Elishewitz
design.
Yes, this one's cool. It also comes in a trainer, but we have the live blade. But this will be a pancake sheath, so they basically, the way they molded it is they had the bottom and then they just press the pretty much symmetrical moldings onto itself, and then you'll have all the rivets along the outside. But then you have some taco sheaths over here.
Yeah, taco where it's folded like your blade is a taco.
Yeah.
Taco sheaths, I think if you are only going pocket, then I think I prefer taco.
Yeah.
But I pancake, I know kind of gets shade sometimes, but seriously, in defense of pancake, they are very good at adapting to a million different situations. If you want to do molly locks, you're going to like pancake because it gives you a second side holding you down.
Yeah.
If you're going to go on your belt, I like having a pancake for the same reason. There's a lot of benefits there. And I appreciate on the Various that we have all of those options, but even out of the box, it does come with that nice little pocket clip. And this one also is reversible.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so throw that guy in your pocket, and you've got yourself a great tactical fixed blade right out of the box.
I think that is one of the benefits with pancakes is you see them being more ambidextrous in terms of the way you could put the knife into the sheath. Whereas tacos, it's molded exactly one way to the blade, so you have to put it in that direction. But Yeah, I think like this one, this is the smaller version that we were showcasing earlier of the Barris, sorry.
I don't even know how to say it. It's some Latin word for a snake.
But yeah, this has the capability. It is the pancake, but it is a lot smaller and compact. But it allows you to put, this one has an ulti clip on it, but you could also do like a belt carry if you wanted to stretch it across and kind of lock it into the rivets that way. So yeah, there's versatility to it.
Yeah, and that's why my recommendation is if you want to try a pocket fixed blade, grab something like the Barris or the Various you're looking at, or even an Essie Azula. Try out whatever pocket carry system you're going to do, and if you decide pocket carry isn't your jam, you still have a knife that's easy to carry anywhere else. Throw on your belt, your packet, what have you.
Exactly. Let's talk about the different ways you can actually adhere the sheath to your pocket, because there are a few, and we have a few options on the table.
Yeah, so we've looked at the ones that, like, out of the box, they're ready to throw in a pocket.
Yeah.
But over here, these are knives that are probably designed for belt, and then these are my personal knives that we've worked on. We'll talk about them in a minute.
Yeah.
But something like any neck knife is going to be a good pocket carry, especially because they're usually carried upside down, so you know you're going to have good detent. Sorry, I just touched the microphone, everybody. But it's just going to be easy to run with.
Yeah.
However, static cords, if you're like on this Mora Eldris, you have nowhere to attach any hardware.
Right.
But you have this little thing designed to hold a neckline. So a static line, you can check out our how to carry a fixed blade video, is where you just have a cord attached that you just run through your belt.
Yep.
Tuck the whole thing in, then you just pull the blade out, yank it away from the sheath, and the cord keeps the sheath, and you have a knife. Yeah. That's really easy. That's a piece of paracord, which you probably have laying around, and if not, it's like $4 for 10 feet of it or whatever.
Exactly.
And that would get you all the knives ready to go. Also, you can find ways to lash your paracord to your belt. And if you get one of those CRKT fixed blades, they come with your hank of paracord right there because it's designed to be a neck knife.
Yeah, it's ready.
So just lash that to your belt or static line or whatever. But if you want to really level up the pocket carry experience, clips are so nice.
100%.
Yeah, so discrete carry clips are sort of the gold standard here. We've carried them before, but you guys keep buying them so fast. Because you could just put this on any Kydex sheath. Like these have sort of elongated holes here, so you can adjust, or you can straddle different hole lengths. So like the Civivi Baby Banter here, just pop this belt clip off, put a discrete carry clip, or even a knockoff discrete carry clip like this one I got on Amazon in a pack of 4 for $12. Yeah. Just throw that in your pocket and you're ready to go.
Yep.
And if you even have leather, there's ways to get around it. So this is my Lion Steel M1. It's a little, I love this knife. It's perfect
that's
pocket
one of your
fixed blade.
favorites. It's nice.
Yep, and it came with this leather sheath, and it was designed for belt carry. But what I did is I picked a bit of the seam around here, I punched a hole with a little leather punch, or you can use a drill bit or whatever, and then I put my ulti clip through that, and now I just throw that in my pocket. It was
easy. Like
an $8 clip, a 50-cent piece of hardware, and I have a pocket fixed blade.
Yeah.
And it does take a little bit of finagling, a little bit of redneck engineering, but you can make pretty much any fixed blade work in your pocket.
Yeah, I think the creativity behind it is cool, and then you're going to also be learning how to do something completely new. So there you go. Well,
I think we're quickly becoming the Pocket Fixed Blade fan club.
Hey, I was already on board, and now I'm more on board. So you got me there. But this was awesome. George, thank you for your expertise. Yes. And I think we definitely nailed down a good list of options for you guys, and hopefully you see something on the table that you like. And if you don't, let us know what you are carrying or what you're eyeballing in the Pocket Fixed Blade world. Yeah, and please do chime in on this discussion. We're all trying to learn something new from each other here. I don't profess to be the expert in everything. Yeah. But I want to learn from each of you in the comments. And if you like any of these specific knives, we'll have them all linked below. And we are really looking forward to talking fixed blades with all of you. We'll see you next time.